Hello there, everybody. This is Mel Allen. Baseball is in tip-top shape from top to bottom. And Artful Dodger's at the top of his game this season, even though injuries have dropped Los Angeles near the bottom after finishing on top last year. A former big leaguer was a top fielder, but he hit bottom when it came to power. And yet he did go over the top one memorable time. The Reds were expected by many to finish atop the West this year, but they started at the bottom. And only now are they making a run for the top. He was a top starter until the bottom fell out for a time, and now he's a top reliever. So stay tuned as we go from top to bottom, y'all, right here on This Week in Baseball. Celebrating our 10th anniversary.
I know all the people in this country have enjoyed This Week in Baseball as much as I have, and congratulations on 10 great, beautiful years.
National League scene. The Cincinnati Reds are still in the running. The Reds are looking to make their move in the West, charging off to wins in 13 out of 16 to tie for second place. Buddy Bell has played a big part. In less than 4 weeks, the former Ranger raised his average almost 20 points and had 9 homers and 21 RBIs, breaking a slump that dated back to last year.
I'd gotten into a rut in Texas for some reason or another and could not get out of it. I worked extremely hard in the batting cage with Billy DeMars, and I was very optimistic about coming in this year, but I had a bad first month of this year, and things didn't look so good at the time, but things have turned around for me a little bit, and it's fun again.
Eric Davis is also having some fun, batting above .290 with 22 home runs and 58 RBIs. Second in the league with 64 steals, 24-year-old Davis has joined Joe Morgan and Ricky Henderson as the only players in big league history with at least 20 homers and 60 stolen bases in one season.
He's a very polished young player, and he has the potential probably to be one of the greatest stars ever to hit this game.
I don't want to get caught up in all the hoopla about trying to live up to expectations of, say, a Willie Mays or Bobby Bonds type player. I want to get the publicity as being Eric Davis.
No problem, Eric, especially if the Reds keep flying. Let's move on to Los Angeles for a close-up look at an artful Dodger, Steve Sax. He's having a super season. At age 26, the Dodger second baseman has hit full stride, igniting LA's offense with 26 steals and a batting average near .325, 50 points higher than his career mark.
Waiting on the ball has really helped me out a lot. I think if the longer you wait and you trust your hands to be quick, I think that it'll pay off for you. I think a lot of times in the past I would get out there too soon and try to make things happen, and instead of just going up there and just looking for a good pitch to hit and just driving it. At the plate, you just have to be totally relaxed and very selective up there, and it's really a time where a lot of the practice that you put into spring training and the off-season comes into play, because there's just one-on-one, the pitcher against the hitter, and I think that's the most exciting thing in baseball.
Sax has been a source of excitement in Los Angeles since 1982, when he batted .282. He stole 49 bases and hit 23 doubles also to win National League Rookie of the Year honors. But second base was a trouble spot in '83 when Sax developed a mental block throwing to first base, committing a league-leading 30 errors.
That throwing thing I went through was really something that ate at me very much, and it was a very scary thing. It was, at one point I thought it was a career-threatening problem, but I was fortunate that I had a lot of support from my family and friends, and I said a lot of prayers. I finally got over that, and I'm glad that I went through it in a way, because I think it made me a better ball player, and I know it made me a better person, so I think it was beneficial for me.
Off the field, Sax has developed a well-deserved reputation as one of baseball's funniest characters.
I still like to cut it up now and then, and I like to have a good time. I believe in that you have to work very, very hard, but I also believe that you have to have a good time, and I always have a good time. I know when it's time to work hard, and I know when it's time to have fun, and sometimes you mix both of them together, but it has to be at the right time. Say, I'm proud to be here on This Week in Baseball.
我现在非常感觉的光荣，在这个礼拜棒球里面的节目上做这个讲话。
That's a lot of words for a little statement, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I'm a little guy.
And you look like one of my old flames. But I want to tell you, all your fans, you are simply marvelous, darling. Just marvelous.
But for the defending Western Division champion Dodgers, 1986 has not been so marvelous because of injuries. Sachs is the only starter who's not spent time on the disabled list this season.
Yeah, it is frustrating at times because you just wish that your team in general was doing better, and that's the most important thing. Even though I'm having a good year, it still doesn't mean near as much to me as opposed to if we were winning.
Win or lose, Sachs figures to be a fixture in Los Angeles for years to come.
I think that I've come a long way, but I also think that I have a long ways to go, and I'm just going to keep working hard and do the best I can and help the Dodgers win a world championship.
And now let's open the notebook for This Week in Baseball's TWIB notes from around the National League. Led by Vince Coleman with a Major League leading 87 steals, St. Louis has stolen 200 bases for the 5th season in a row. First team to do that in 71 years. Last team to do it, the Detroit Tigers, 1911 through 1915. In July, we showed you a play in which Phillies outfielder Glenn Wilson became part of a 5-man infield when Pittsburgh had the bases loaded with 1 out in the last of the 10th.
Right back up the middle. The play's going to work. The play is going to work. The 5-man infield with Glenn Wilson at second base works.
The Phillies figured if it worked once, why not try it again? So Wilson came in when Kevin McReynolds batted for San Diego in the bottom of the 9th with 1 out, and the score tied with the bases loaded.
A little bouncer to Aguayo's got to come home. Out! They got the out at the plate. Remarkable.
Skipper John Felski stayed with his strategy for Bruce Bochy, who surveyed the infield looking for an opening, while Wilson played cat and mouse by dancing around near second base.
Bochy can't get it, base hit. Padres win the game 4-3.
How about that? Well, you know what they say about the best laid plans. Now it's time for this week's quiz, brought to you by Nissan. Test drive the new Nissan hard-body trucks at your Nissan dealer now. Philadelphia's Don Carmen had his eye on perfection, pitching a perfect game until Bob Brenly led off the 9th inning for San Francisco and broke up Carmen's bid. He wound up with a 1-hitter. Later that night, Detroit's Walt Terrell also had a no-hitter going with 2 outs in the 9th, but California's Wally Joyner broke it up. Earlier this season, Joyner ended a no-hit bid by the Rangers' Charlie Huff, also in the 9th inning. But for this week's quiz, can you name the only player to break up 3 no-hitters in the 9th in one season? Stay tuned for a former Yankee second baseman. American League report. The Texas Rangers saddle up for the stretch drive.
He drills one toward that foul pole, hits a wall. Played by Ward. Hewlett's going to have to hold it first. Nice play by Toby Harrod. Down goes Darrell Cousins, the second base umpire.
Mel Allen will narrate this baby on This Week in Baseball. You can be sure of that.
You got that right. You know, most baseball observers feel sure that the Rangers are for real. They won 5 out of 6 to close in on first place in the West. Larry Parrish has been a key to keeping Texas in contention, hitting almost .290 with 21 homers and 77 RBIs. 32-year-old Parrish is providing some much-needed experience and leadership to the young Rangers.
You know, it's a good thing in baseball on teams. When you're bringing up young talent, you need, some veterans and not necessarily teach a guy how to play, but to teach the mental aspect of the game, how to handle some tough times, because you're going to have them in this game. There's nobody that comes into it, just dominates the game of baseball, especially hitting.
Scott Fletcher isn't exactly dominating, but he's among the league leaders in hitting at above .320. Acquired from the White Sox in the offseason, Fletcher has become the Rangers' everyday shortstop.
you let someone grow through an experience, and that's what a young team has to do. That's what an old team has to do during a 162-game season. There has to be things that you can build on, and once you get it building in the right direction, then it's a foundation that's not going to be torn down very easily by a couple losses or a few things that might happen to distract you. So when I say I'm proud of the guys, I'm proud because they've put in a lot of hard work, and they've had conviction that something can work, and that conviction has led to results.
Case in point, Texas tied with Boston, bottom of the ninth. Rookie Ruben Sierra at the plate. There's a drive that's going, it is gone. Capping a comeback that denied Roger Clemens his 20th win and kept the Rangers on a roll. Time now to focus in on New York's own definition of Rags time. At the tender age of 27, the Yankees' Dave Righetti stands as one of the best relief pitchers in baseball. So far this year, Rags has posted 7 wins. He's also among the league leaders in ERA at below 2.8, and he's collected 30 saves, one behind Major League leader Don Ossie of Baltimore. Rags made his big league debut at Yankee Stadium in 1979 on a very special day.
Pitched on Catfish Hunter Day, who was an idol of mine when I was growing up in the Bay Area in Oakland. And being able to pitch on his day that he retired for my first day in the big leagues was a great thrill. And Yankee Stadium just made it even more special.
Righetti began his career as a starter, and in 1981, his first full season, he went 8-4 with a 2.06 ERA, capturing American League Rookie of the Year honors as the Yankees went to the World Series. But in 1982, Righetti suffered a slight sophomore jinx and was briefly sent down to the minors to get back on track, a move that caused considerable controversy.
At that time, I was only .500 and really not throwing very well. But the numbers game got me, and there were some veterans coming off the disabled list, and somebody had to go, and it was me. It might have helped me at the time. I think Mr. Steinbrenner made a stand, and he lived by it and stuck by it, and it was strange, you know. They wanted me to get away from New York and get away from some of the hoopla and all the things that were going on. And I went down to Pawtucket to pitch against the Red Sox minor league ball club there, and Friedrich was pitching against myself, and there was more media there than I saw during the World Series, and I couldn't sleep or anything else, and there was more hoopla down there than there was up in here in New York. I left with a big lead, and I think Marks pitched all 9 innings and ended up winning the ball game. He pitched great. He looked super, and he was jumping around the mound. It was my first chance to see him pitch live, and it was quite a thrill for me, too.
In 1983, Righetti got his biggest thrill. 4th of July at Yankee Stadium against Boston, and this reporter was fortunate enough to be there.
40,000 plus people standing and roaring, and Righetti trying to get Bob. And he gets it! A no-hitter for Dave Righetti! How about that?
We have been getting killed by Boston for 3 straight days, and I just wanted to shut them down early. And when it got in about the 8th inning, we had a 2-0 lead. I was worried about the lead. Steve Kemp made a hell of a play in the stands on a foul ball, and I thought maybe if this is my day, you need one of those during the ball game. And the fans did pump me up at that point. I was trying to tell myself, while they're standing here, you might as well give them something to cheer about. I said, let's go. You know, I was talking to myself like that. And fortunately, he just wasn't looking for the slider on the 2-strike pitch. And after that, I was out of gas, and I was just relieved it was over. You know, it was just a long day, and people were cheering and stuff, and Chuck Mangione came down and was playing a song on the horn, and I was embarrassed more than anything else. And people were making me stand up and take pictures and everything. It was kind of embarrassing. I didn't know what to do with myself.
At the start of '84, Rags was made a reliever, a move that he resisted at first, but his 31 saves that season showed that he could make a tough transition seem almost easy.
The big difference is, I think, the 5 days in between, you know, as a starter, those guys have it made. They sit around for 4 or 5 days, and if they have lost the ball game, it wears on your mind a little bit, and you can't wait for that next start. But if you won the ball game, you tend to enjoy it a lot. But as a reliever, you have one ball game the next day, you have to be ready again, and it could be a bad day. So every 162 games, I have to be ready. And Lou's counting on me, and the team's counting on me for almost every one of those ball games. So, you know, it makes you feel pretty good, but it's only good if we win. So hopefully we'll win and make me feel a little better about it.
Dave Righetti, a proven winner in any role. Now, let's review this week in baseball's TWIB notes from around the American League. Toronto's Jesse Barfield has been pumping with power. First player in the majors to crack 30 homers this year. His single-season high had been 27. Barfield's bid for a home run crown has helped the Blue Jays move into second place in the East. Former home run king Tony Armas appears to have regained his power stroke. 4 home runs and 18 RBIs over a 12-game span as Boston went 8-4 to remain in front of the Eastern Division. Possible future home run king Jose Canseco stopped a drought of 0 for 40 with a game-winning double in the 9th against New York. Despite that slump, the Oakland rookie remained the big league RBI leader with 95 and stood near the top in homers with 26. Now let's top off the answer to this week's Nissan quiz. Former Yankee second baseman Horace Clarke was the only player ever to break up 3 no-hitters in the 9th inning in one season. In the span of only 29 days in 1970, Clarke broke up no-hit bids in the 9th by Jim Rooker of Kansas City, Sonny Siebert of Boston, and Joe Niekro, then with Detroit. Fans, who are these masked men and why the disguises? Could be they didn't want to face the music. I know who it is, my old buddy Bob Ueckert, who's been known to appreciate the lighter side of baseball. I know how you feel, man. Nobody wants to be Uecker for too long. Just kidding, Bob. Time now for a wild ride conducted by Major League Mythmasters who know how to disarm a bat. Up first, Minnesota's Kent Hrbek. Twins teammate Steve Lombardozzi. California's Wally Joyner. New York Met Keith Hernandez. Los Angeles Dodger Fernando Valenzuela. Fellow Dodger Jose Gonzalez. Oh, Jose, what a play. For the Pittsburgh Pirates, rookie Barry Bonds. Whoa, Barry. The Mets again with Ed Hearn. St. Louis Cardinal Tommy Herr. Seattle Mariner Harold Reynolds. Detroit's Alan Trammell from deep in the hole. Baltimore Oriole Larry Sheets taking flight. And finally, St. Louis Wizard Ozzie Smith. Just catch this one. Wow. Now, it's This Week in Baseball's 10th anniversary flashback, brought to you by Gatorade. Let's flash back to 1977. Dwayne Kuiper was a slick-fielding second baseman for 11 seasons with Cleveland and San Francisco. And although he had a .271 career batting average, Dwayne victimized the White Sox for his only home run in 3,379 career at-bats, lowest ratio in big league history.
I happened to have the baseball register in front of me. I said, gee whiz. I said, look at this. This guy's been playing quite a while in the major leagues, has never hit a home run. Here's a pitch, and there she goes. It might be. I can't believe it. It could be. Holy cow, it is. The first home run Kuiper's ever hit, and he hit it off Steve Stone.
The game started early, 12 minutes early, and Bob Lemon, the manager, didn't know that. So when I went out to the bullpen to warm up, I found that I had 7 minutes to warm up and didn't have a curveball, which at that point in my career was my big pitch.
And I'm sure that Steve Stone's story would be that he wasn't loose. Well, he was loose enough to strike out the first hitter of the game. The second hitter was myself. And I took the first pitch for a ball, and the second pitch I hit out of the park.
He likes to tell the story. It was 450 feet deep into the right field seats. I think it just cleared the fence, but the point was it went over. Dwayne gave him the yay as he's running around the bases.
I didn't realize that he had watched me. Obviously, he did if he knew that I raised my arm. Or maybe it was the 8x10s that I sent him of these still shots that I
had. And that's all for now, folks. See you next week on This Week in Baseball.
The Cleveland Indians take on the Toronto Blue Jays Monday at 1:30 on WUAB. Joe Tate and Jack Corrigan will bring you all the action. The Herb Score Show is next on Channel 43.